What if watching a YouTube video could actually feed a village? I know, it sounds kind of crazy, right? But today, we're going to break down this totally new way of thinking about charity that's turning your clicks into actual meals. We're going to deconstruct exactly how it works. All right, let's get into it. So how is that even possible? How can one person's view on a video end up feeding millions of people? It really does sound like something from the future. The idea that just, your screen time could put real food on someone's plate. But it's not science fiction. It's really happening. And we're going to show you exactly how. So on the surface, the basic idea is really simple. You watch the video. That video generates money from ads, and that money buys food for someone who needs it. But honestly, the real genius of this whole model isn't just about raising the cash. It's about what they do with that money to build something that's actually going to last. And that brings us right to our first section. Because this is so much more than a food drop. It's not about handing out meals and then just leaving. Nope. This is about creating a massive ripple effect of positive change, and it all starts with these two incredibly ambitious projects in Kenya and Ghana. Okay, this is where it gets really cool. It's a whole system. It all starts by providing meals at school. But it's not just about the food. That food gets the kids to actually show up for class, and when attendance skyrockets, it creates the reason to upgrade everything. New classrooms, better equipment, you name it, and even building new, sustainable ways for them to grow their own food. And listen, we're not talking about a few small fixes here. This is a total transformation. I mean, new desks so kids aren't sitting on rocks anymore, a brand new modern kitchen, a well that provides clean water, a whole greenhouse, and a huge farm. They even got a community truck to share all that new food around. It's all about building a real foundation for the future. Now check this out. This is the power of smart investment. By bringing in just one piece of technology, a tractor, they took a job that used to take 45 minutes by hand and they cut it down to just 45 seconds. Let that sink in for a second. That's a huge leap in efficiency. And what does that mean? Way more food for everyone. You don't have to take my word for how big of a deal this is. A school official over in Ghana put it perfectly. They said, "This food is increasing our enrollment. It will bring the kids to school, and they'll stay in school too." It's so simple, but that one sentence tells you everything you need to know about the impact here. And to understand why this is so critical, you have to look at this number, 45%. In Ghana's cacao farming regions, a staggering 45% of children are involved in illegal child labor. That is almost half the kids in those households. It's a massive problem. So that's exactly what this program is fighting against. It's not just about a meal. It's about providing an alternative. By giving families food and livestock, it gives them the economic breathing room they need so their kids can go to school instead of to work. It's about breaking that cycle of poverty for good. Okay, so that's the story in Africa, but this model is way more adaptable than that. Because while one part of the world is dealing with a lack of food, another part, well, it has the complete opposite problem. And that brings us to Section 2, the absolutely wild paradox of food waste. Yeah, look at this. It really is a tale of two completely different worlds, isn't it? In Kenya and Ghana, the issue is scarcity. Not enough food, not enough infrastructure. But in the US, it's abundance. We have so much food, but we have this massive problem with waste. This is where you see how clever this model is because it totally changes its approach based on the problem it's trying to solve.
This number is just mind-boggling. Look at this chart. In America, a full 40% of the food we produce gets wasted. It just gets thrown out. That's an insane amount of food, more than enough to feed everyone in the country who needs it.
So how do you tackle a problem like that? Well, you turn to amazing groups like Sharing Excess. And what they do is brilliant in its simplicity. They go to places like wholesale markets and rescue millions of pounds of high-quality, perfectly good food that's about to be thrown away, and they get it to people who actually need it. And this is where your view, your single click, turns into something real and tangible. That ad money we talked about, it bought Sharing Excess a brand new truck. Just one truck, but that one truck allows them to rescue an extra 7 million pounds of food every single year. I mean, wow. Just think about the leverage on that. So you've got farms in Kenya and you've got food markets in Philly. How do these two completely different projects connect? Well, it's all powered by the same engine. And that brings us to Section 3, the view-powered flywheel. This is the secret to the whole thing. Okay, so here's how the engine works. It's a loop, a flywheel. Step 1, it all starts with you. You watch the video. Step 2, that view generates ad revenue. Step 3, all that attention attracts major sponsors who want to get involved. Step 4, that money gets put to work with partners on the ground. And then, and this is the key, the amazing impact they create makes for a great story, which gets more views, and the whole cycle starts over again, bigger and stronger each time.
So when you break it all down, there are really 4 key players that make this whole thing go. You've got MrBeast, the platform. You've got the nonprofits on the ground, like SharingXS. You've got the sponsors, both corporate and individual. And then there's the most important piece, you, the viewer. Seriously, none of this works without you. You're the one who kicks the whole thing off.
And when this flywheel starts spinning, it picks up some serious momentum. We're talking big time. For example, Tony Robbins saw what was happening and was so inspired, he jumped in and pledged an unbelievable 10 million meals.
And here's what he said. Every view you watch is going to bring more meals, so I'm going to commit 10 million meals. That's just a perfect example of how this whole thing works. The attention from all of us viewers creates a magnet for even bigger support. It multiplies the impact.
So at the end of the day, it boils down to this incredibly simple and powerful idea. Every 20 views provides 1 meal for someone who needs it. That's it. It makes the connection between you watching a video and someone getting to eat so clear and so direct.
All right, so where does all this go from here? What happens next with this new model? That's what we're going to look at in our final section.
This part is honestly one of the wildest things about the whole project. The final donation to SharingXS wasn't a set amount. It was literally a blank check. The final total was going to be decided by, you guessed it, the number of views the video got. I mean, that's a huge gamble, but it also puts all the power right back in our hands, as the viewers.
Which leaves us with a pretty massive question, right? Is this the future of how we do good in the world? Is it possible that the next wave of big-time philanthropy won't come from traditional foundations, but from creators and their communities, from YouTubers and their subscribers? It's a pretty wild thought. But when you look at the results, you realize it's already happening. It's already changing the world, one click at a time.